I visited one of the world's greatest baseball cities, and let me show you why. But first, let's recap how we got here. I took a flight from Toronto to Tokyo just to spend $500 on a baseball glove the second I got there. Took some rounds in the best batting cages I've ever used. Accidentally bought tickets in the away team's cheering section at the Tokyo Dome. Traveled to Yokohama to see Trevor Bauer play. Took the midnight train going anywhere, actually to Mount Fuji. Stayed at the best Airbnb. Woke up and climbed Mount Fuji. Took a train to a small village in the mountains. Took another train to Kyoto to visit a castle and used one of the craziest toilets I've ever seen. Met a new friend, and finally, we arrived in one of the greatest baseball cities, Osaka. Now, like any normal person, the first thing you have to do in a new city is check out a baseball store. The first store we were heading to was Kyuji Sensei, a spot I found online by searching baseball stores, which will be a common theme in this video. At this point in the trip, I had already spent $500 on a new glove, so browsing through was absolutely killing me. I kept trying to justify getting another glove or maybe a cheaper used one, and you know what, somehow I held off. The store had a lot of really cool gear, and gloves we usually don't see in North America. The rubber ball gloves were especially interesting and unique, like these awesome rolling gloves. Our next stop was the Mizuno Osaka store, and honestly, before this visit, I didn't really have much interest in Mizuno gloves, but after stepping into that store, I became a fan. Our Mizuno North America has really stepped it up lately, and there's a lot of exciting products coming our way, but I just love seeing all the different colorways on the gloves and the gear we usually don't get to see in North America. We also got to see some of the gear from upcoming Japanese stars like Murakami, who looks like he might be making his way to the MLB in 2026. A glove I'm always drawn into is the clear Mizuno. I can't stop looking at it. It's just such a fun glove. It feels like a science experiment you can use in a game. The next day, I headed out on a solo baseball adventure, traveling around Osaka to see what baseball treasures it had to find. The first stop was Koshien Stadium, home of the famous Japanese high school tournaments and also the Hanshin Tigers of the MPB. I love the brick and ivy look of the outside. I could just feel the history of this field while walking around. There were many plaques and memorials to some of the greats, but there was one that caught my eye because it seemed a little bit out of place. It was a Babe Ruth memorial plaque. It was also the perfect spot to sit and eat my convenience store breakfast. My plan was to visit the baseball store across the street from the stadium, but it wasn't open because it was way too early. So I checked Google Maps and saw that the beach and some baseball fields were just down the street. I always love seeing some local fields, so it was definitely worth the walk. I really didn't think this next moment was going to be one of my favorites from the trip, but there was this group of kids playing baseball, sandlot style, in this dirt and sand field. Just a bat and some gloves enjoying the best game in the world. Absolutely love seeing it. The fields also had this little walkway that overlooked the water, which was such an amazing sight. I also found a few rubber balls down at the beach, and I think one of them might have come home to Canada with me. After this little adventure, the baseball store across the street from the stadium opened up, so I hustled back over to check it out. Again, I'm itching to get another baseball glove, but I had already spent my life savings on day one. So I just browsed through the store and just wished I could snag a few more gloves. I grabbed some amazing food before I took the train back to downtown Osaka, where I found another batting cage to get absolutely diced up in. This time by Yamamoto, who at the time was still in the MPB. After getting diced up, I went upstairs to check out this sweet pitching practice area, and then it was time to check out the Osaka Dome. Sadly, it was closed because whatever day I was there was the MPB off day, but I wasn't done this baseball adventure. I looked up any baseball stores in Osaka and found this one on the other side of the city with a 15 or more minute walk to get there once I got off the train. It was an easy sell for me, and it ended up being one of my top experiences of Osaka. So I walked into this small specialty glove shop that only sold Kubota sluggers and Hitakeyama gloves. The owner quickly got up and greeted me with the friendliest smile. My Japanese at the time was pretty limited, so I pulled out the Google Translate app and we began chatting back and forth through my phone. I quickly learned that my new friend Yujiro-san also repaired baseball gloves, along with playing and coaching baseball. He quickly showed me the tools he uses for his craft and then gave me a little tour of his shop. Every little bit of the wall was covered in something baseball, and I honestly couldn't get enough of it. We chatted about different pitch grips for a while. Honestly, Yujiro-san is 100% a nasty lefty from what I can tell. After this, he showed me a signed and framed Shohei Ohtani paper from when he played in the MPB. Honestly, just like, it's so cool seeing these little bits of merch in these small stores. I know I said I was out of money, but I still had some reserves to get a fungo. But of course, I didn't have enough cash on me, so I had to run to the convenience store to get a little bit more. Also, while I was there, Yujiro charged my phone in his shop so I didn't get lost on my way home. By far, this was the greatest experience of the trip. Yujiro-san was amazing and I hope his shop is doing well. Next time we're in Osaka, we will for sure visit. I'll toss the address to his shop if anyone wants to visit it while you're on an Osaka trip. I walked back to the Airbnb and then headed back to Tokyo the next day to pick up my new glove from the Kubota Slugger store. I honestly can't say enough good things about Japan. It was an amazing trip, the people were awesome, the sights were amazing, the baseball was everywhere, and the food was top tier. I'll see you guys in the next adventure.